Right. I mean, the fact that you want him growing up around a bunch of baseball players is just weird. You know, he's like, it's great, and the kid's like, they're great guys.
But so he doesn't have many friends.
They're not great. I mean, you're 13. Hang
Juan
out with
Uribe,
kids.
as Joe pointed out, could teach him a few things.
Yeah, there'd be some valuable life lessons there from Juan Uribe.
Oh, Lord, that makes the kid run.
He wouldn't have known the kid's name because he didn't know anybody's name except he knew Burley was Bailey. So he'd be like, hey, little man. Well, little white man, come here. That's what Uribe used to say. Hey, white guy, media white guy, come here. What's up, Juan? Me no shoot that Italian soldier. Yeah, you did, Juan. You did. Trust me. No, it was my brother.
Tell him the hotel story.
The Johnny Utah?
Yes, please.
Do I have to repeat it again?
Yes, you have to.
I didn't hear it.
Tell him this story.
Jeff Blum gets traded.
Yeah.
So his
World Series hero.
World Series hero. His name on the road was Johnny Utah from Point Break.
Sure.
Mm-hmm.
So they arrive in New York. He brings the wife because obviously he's going to a new situation. Middle of the night, they're hearing a crime on the room next door. A crime. Screams, and the wife's like, we got to call somebody. We have to call hotel security. I mean, there's a death going on. So they call the traveling secretary.
Right?
They call the traveling secretary, Ed Casson. And so the next day, Ed tells him, well, Johnny Utah, you're right next to Juan Uribe. It's all done in alphabetical order, The next day, Uribe walks out in his robe. He doesn't know nothing else. He doesn't know Blum's name, but he sees Blum coming out of the room and goes, hey, new guy. Tonight you hear screams? She okay.
Man.
That's it. So Blum killed that name. He was never Johnny Utah again. At least with the White Sox he wasn't.
That's great.
That's what the Cleveland Indians have to look forward to.
Juan Uribe swinging a big stick, ladies and gentlemen.
Lord have mercy.
That's
Jeez,
awesome.
Talented in many ways.
We got to
Uribe.
call somebody because something's happening next door.
Hey, new guy. That's great.
New guy.
And I think that would have been good for Drake, actually.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
exactly.
geez,
That's what you want your kid to be.
Yeah.
Introduce him to the world of the Giants? I don't know.
That whole going undercover in the sex slave trade.
Yeah, he's undercover.
You do that for that long, man, and just be like, then you walk away from it and be like, all right, we need to do something to help those people.
I go undercover.
How about, you're
How about
right
you give him
there.
some of
How
that
about
money
grab
you
him?
have?
No. How about take them out?
I go undercover at gentlemen's clubs once every 2 months.
Right.
Yeah.
Make sure the girls are still going to college.
I bet you do.
Just to make
Keeping
sure
them-
that the health code violations aren't
And to make
occurring.
sure Cinnamon is still going to college.
Like you're sitting there and there's like 2 13-year-old girls getting sold into slavery. Hey, dude, pick them up, walk them out of the building.
Nah, because
Take them out.
Oh boy, that's
you'll die.
Yeah, you'll be you'll and your artificial guns or whatever he has will be dead.
That's the other thing too. Like, how do you know that you're not how do you know that you're not infringing on some territory or messing around with maybe a larger agency and messing around with their investigation? Like, you don't.
Who was he undercover with?
Some
The
Brewers,
Duck Dynasty guys?
Was it something for like some new show?
Two of the Duck Dynasty brothers.
We were talking about it
They would
yesterday.
blend right into a slavery, a sex trade.
We were talking about it yesterday. How baseball players seem to be the least developed of all the athletes.
Yeah.
When it comes to like
Absolutely.
you're stuck on a traveling team, and then at anywhere from 17 to 21, you're thrown on a bus with minor leaguers who, maybe 30-year-old guys who went through the same thing you did. So there's a lack of life perspective. And then all of a sudden you get thrown all the money in the world, and then you get into your cliques in the clubhouse. It's an interesting dynamic anytime you walk into
a lot of time in
league.
Class A ball, I don't know if they all do it, but they live with somebody.
Yeah, they have those what do they call, like supportive families where they live like with
that,
families.
Joe, I don't know if there's probably different names for it, but they all live with somebody.
Mm-hmm. I don't know, man. You're
18 and you're living with somebody.
Yeah,
like old people.
Your living family, your minor league living family. That's why when we all went to the Playboy Mansion after the White Sox won the World Series, and the whole team went to. So Brian Anderson, remember Brian Anderson, the future outfielder of Hall of Fame,
white Jared Mitchell.
Yes. Except he didn't play football. He is. I've never seen a guy just clock in on Kendra. He's just clocked in, just putting up all the time. Finally, he's like, Kendra, who'd you rather have, me or Hef's old Sacamajoa is what exactly he said.
Yep.
And then I can't remember who it was for the Sox. One of the pitchers just without a second. She goes, "Let's see, live in this mansion or go stay with you and your living family when you get busted down to the minors." Well, what do you think she's going to pick?
Very, very easy decision to make.
And he soon was busted down to the minors.
One of the pitchers said that?
Yeah, I can't remember which one it was. It was probably like Folk
Bailey.
or no, it was
started the pitch, right?
Uribe was
Bailey.
Uribe was in the ground.
Anderson became a pitcher then, didn't he?
Yeah,
Yeah,
Kansas
then he
City.
tried pitching, and then
He's bad at that too.
he wasn't good at that.
Yeah.
It
You
all
know, we
fell
looked
apart.
great, Joe, in batting practice.
Oh,
He-
he was
I mean-
no Joe. Joe Borchard was the best batting practice hitter I have
unbelievable. Yeah.
ever seen.
Also looked good at a bar, too.
Yeah, Joe liked to.
Well, Brian.
Oh, Brian Anderson liked the bars.
Yeah, he looked good at the bar. He looked
He and
comfortable.
Brendan
Big
McCaffrey.
strapping man.
Not Brandon.
I was about to say Brendan McCaffrey.
Well,
Wait
he's
a minute.
hitting on half woman. He's pretty comfortable.
Oh, he was very
I mean,
comfortable
he's
around
pretty-
women.
Pretty much, yeah.
Yeah.
He would show us his cell phone. Trust me.
Is that still a bucket list item for a lot of men, like going to the Playboy
Brian
Mansion?
Anderson?
No, not Brian Anderson.
Brian Anderson
But going to
hanging
the-
with Brian Anderson.
Not on my list. On a
Chris-
different list.
Yeah, we gotta ask Chris Ranji about that.
Yeah.
No, but going to the Playboy Mansion, is that
It wasn't on
is
my
No.
bucket list. It was just kind of.
It was an opportunity that
Is it-
presented itself.
is
so
there
you figure,
still
why
a-
wouldn't
is-
I
you?
wrote
there
a column
still
about it. It was
There's still a mystique
I
to
remember it.
that place? That,
no. It was.
oh, you went, Terry?
No, I remember
Oh.
Joe's column. No,
Oh,
nobody ever
wait a
invited
minute.
me.
Whoa, wait a
No,
minute.
nobody invited me.
I remember when Hef walked
Terry's at the
out.
Playgirl Mansion.
Hef Playgirl Mansion.
Him and Stoney.
Stony.
I get my
A lot
trips
of
with
wild
the girl.
stuff going on down there.
No, look, believe me, nobody wanted me there. Even if people were going, nobody would invite me.
I'm sure. Listen,
Oh, you-
I'm sure you'd be all right. I mean, if
Oh, I'd
you're
be fine.
if
Yeah,
you're
I
at the
bet.
mansion, that means you have a certain level of status or money. And
I didn't have any money then.
well, if you're there though, you can
Got
fake
no
it till you
damn
make
money.
it. You can fake it till you make it.
See,
at the Playboy
Drake
Mansion.
could have been learning all this stuff. Playboy mansions and
Is
don't
Juan-
use Johnny Utah if you're now on the Cleveland Indians.
The Juan Uribe adventure trip.
Exactly.
Yes.
Is Juan Uribe the most interesting man you've ever covered?
I would say that not only that I covered, but if you ask guys that played with him, they would say he's their favorite teammate. I mean, Burley gets back from having his first kid. Burley's the only one whose name he knew. Everyone else was a number or white guy. I remember one time.
So he's me.
Well, yeah, I remember one time I said to him, he said, look, all the white people on the team. And I said, no, there's not. I go, and he goes, look, white people, white. He's pointing, and he goes to Jermaine Dye. He goes, white people. I go, Jermaine Dye's not white people. He said, hey, you trust Juan, white people. Yeah, I was like, you just sold out Jermaine Dye. But Burley was the only one he knew the name, even though it was Bailey.
It was close, yeah.
Bailey.
Yes, and Burley just gets back from having his first kid, and Juan is so excited because he's got something funny on his mind. He goes, hey, Juan Bailey. And Burley's like, yeah, I only had one kid. No, Juan Bailey. No, I had one kid, not twins. No. And finally someone said, no, he's saying the kid's name is really Juan Bailey because it's his kid.
So many levels of foul, like so many different, so many layers of jerk mixed in with not being able to speak the language the way that
And then
people
he
needed
gave,
to
I remember
communicate.
2008, he gave the season's hanging in the balance at last week. So they need someone to give like this big rah-rah speech. Uribe gave it, and he was basically trying to tell everyone to get on his shoulders, that he'll carry him there. Guys are on the floor cracking up, laughing because they don't know what he's saying. And even the Ozzy's like, I don't know what he says. He speaks Spanish, but it's a Spanish I've never heard before.
So Ozzy can't understand
No,
him.
none of the Spanish guys could. No,
That's great.
no one could understand him. The Spanish guys and the Dominicans from his own country didn't understand what he was saying. That's the beauty of
See,
it.
the love that our guy
So he's
Chris
dead.
Tannehill has for Juan Uribe is growing right now.
Oh,
Just
he was
immense.
the
Like, he
best.
loves Juan Uribe.
He was the best.
And 15 years later, that dude's still playing
Still
baseball.
just
Yeah.
15
doing
years
his thing.
in the major leagues.
shooting people in the offseason and just paying off judges.
Man, jeez.
He paid off the judge. It's Dominican. You can shoot people. You just pay the judge.
I've heard some baseball stories, some good stories, but I think that one with him and Jeff Blum might be the
yeah.
That's the cleanest one I
that
can
might,
tell
be,
him.
that
yeah.
might be the
okay.
best thing in the morning. Is she okay? New guy.
Hey,
Oh,
new
new
guy.
guy. That's
White
great.
guy.
And if anyone, I mean, you remember
Wow.
Blum,
And
but
Blum
Blum's,
probably is
but
terrified.
Blum's
He
wife
had to be
was like
terrified.
like a surfer California girl. You know. She has to see him in his robe. Hey, new guy.
Right.
We got traded to this.
Right. Cash and prizes just right there for you, gleaming out the robe.
Yeah.
Oh, Lord. Joe, you are a special, special individual.
There's a